Hello and welcome everybody to the next episode of In Character Universe Fate Calculation. I am your host, Otsdarva Integer, and here would be a great opportunity to fill you in on what fate calculation is first and foremost. To be pretty straightforward, this is merely a lore building exercise slash workshop for those that are interested in wanting to expand their horizons to a much greater degree. So if someone wants to have like a bit of a lore story, but they don't know how to like kind of go about it, or if they want to have some sort of guidance on how they can flesh out their lore so it's a bit more organized and properly structured, this is pretty much the place to do it. Whether someone takes it with, something learned out of it or didn't feel useful, as long as it is contributing to what they want to accomplish first and foremost, and in total, this will be the great opportunity for them to really use the lessons that they learned from this particular stream to put it forward. And I hope that it does actually serve a great purpose in helping them make their own kind of stories. Because stories are truly powerful. Whether you play a character or not, you can give something life of its own. And remember, 621. Once something lives, it doesn't die too easily. And if you haven't noticed, I've been playing a lot of Armored Core 6, so you know that's going to be stuck in my mind for quite some time. But it does make sense. But here we have our guest, Deetz, a jumper cyborg. I'm pretty sure you can give a much better definition of who he is. So we will go into the workshop and we'll go from there. So let me go off of Deafin. And we will have our introductions for our guests.
Oh, hi.
Hi there.
This is my turn.
Yes, it is your turn.
Yo, hi, I'm Deetz. You can also call me A12 Flames, or Deetz. Deetz is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I am a cyborg. How far should I go into this right now? Because I know we're gonna
as far as you can go, even if it goes beyond the stratosphere.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm a cyborg. I am from the future. At no particular time, no particular point in time, just the future.
Mm-hmm.
And wait, you know what? I have a better way. I have a better way of doing this. I have a list of things I can talk about. Okay, here we go. So I'm from an alternate future timeline where cyborgs already exist, and I already had a few cybernetic implants in me, like the one you see on my eye. That one was already there. And I have a couple on my hands also. The tip of my finger, it can turn into a lighter and or flamethrower, depending on what I need it for.
That sounds pretty nifty.
Yeah. But I was getting bored. A lot of stuff. Like everyone's the same there. Everyone is cybernetic. It's like the Incredibles thing. When everyone is super, no one is, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So I created a cybernetic myself, and I chipped myself with it. It's you can't see it on my model right now, but in my upcoming model, which I'm planning on rigging myself, so it's taken a while. But in that model, yeah, you can actually see on my chest. I have a cybernetic there, and that's actually the cybernetic that I created, which allowed me to time travel. And so I chose to time travel back into this point in time because I thought it'd be a nice place to chill, play some games, and make some friends.
Mm-hmm. So something tells me you were also a scientist back in the days too, considering that you're able to create some sort of time traveling chip.
I wouldn't really say scientist. I guess you could say more of like a mad scientist, but not not really scientist. I would lean more towards just like a hacker, just kind of someone who just, you know, puts things together, sees what it does.
Mm-hmm. It just
That kind of thing.
just want to see what kind of limbs you could push before it could go any further than that.
Yeah, yeah.
Essentially,
Yep.
what doesn't that kind of create something very dangerous, as if someone would try to steal it?
Well, just don't tell anyone about it.
I mean, I can't exactly guarantee that because we're kind of streaming live, so
Oh
I hope.
no.
Well, as long as you don't mention like the designation number or name or whatever kind of semiconductors it use or anything that a regular microchip has, I'm pretty sure you could just slap a nice little NDA so no one will ever even speak it out in any kind of conceivable fashion where it could be traced back to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because the last thing we want is more time traveling cyborgs that would use it for much more nefarious reasons rather than what you have in mind.
Yeah. I'm chill. I don't want to do anything bad with it.
No, not at all, not at all. But we also gotta have our protective services in order to make sure nothing like that ever happens again or any point in time. I'm sure you're prepared for that, right?
What? Protective services.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you could just provide some sort of security measures in order to make sure that no one else is targeted by someone that could travel through time the same way.
Oh no. No, no. No, we don't do that. We don't do that in my universe.
Hmm. I mean, we don't know. I mean, everything was pretty boring. I'm pretty sure someone else had the same idea too. Someone from an underground market or someone from probably a corpo that had the same idea but never really had a good position or just do just that.
See, but that's the thing. Corpos wouldn't be able to do this because they're corpo. They're tied.
I mean, it never stopped anybody from behind the scenes in order to do such things like that.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, after all, if there's money to be made, there's rules to be broken.
True.
And what corporate would not? But I guess we need to kind of like get back on track with what we need to do here. So, what are you having mostly trouble with when it comes to coming up with your lore story?
I guess the world really, because I mean, it is the future, but like, who actually knows what's gonna happen in the future, right? So like, I don't really know how to handle that.
I see. So it's just more or less world building in this situation.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm pretty confident in my abilities to create the lore of like what cybernetics I have and that kind of stuff, but beyond myself, I don't know.
I mean, this could probably present the opportunity for like a lot of hard sci-fi stuff. Like time travel is definitely one of those things that we can kind of bend the rules a little bit. Maybe dimensional travel too, if we're kind of like feeling a bit more adventurous. Because that did kind of bill you as like a cyborg jumper, someone who could actually jump through different periods of time or space.
Yeah, yeah, that is something I can in fact do.
So maybe there might have been some sort of incident in the world that has allowed you to get to that particular point. Because creating something like that, especially that can break the rules of reality and causality itself, it wouldn't be so easily monitored, you know?
Right, right.
I mean, it wouldn't be easily. What's the word I'm looking for? Something that can't be easily erased, or
Mm,
something that can be easily omitted. There has to be like someone watching you like a hawk every single step of the way.
like some sort of corpo.
Yeah, some sort of corporal, or maybe even some runners too that have like dabbled in some semblance of like crazy science stuff.
Hmm.
And maybe there might have
Yeah.
been some sort of rat race in that particular universe that has allowed for some people to just try and get their hands on as many odd tech as possible in order to achieve that.
Mm,
And if word ever got around about someone being able to create something so small yet so powerful to send someone back into time or forward in time, it'll be a pretty big deal in all sorts of circles, especially corporal, especially in like other runners. It's
mm,
you can pretty much go the sky's the limit when it comes to like cyberpunk in general.
true. Yeah. I I feel like between corpo or netrunner, I don't know. I feel like a netrunner would be more inclined to do such a thing, or it could be a netrunner hired by a corpo.
Yeah, or it could be like both. Two parties pretty much looking for someone that could actually do just what you did.
Yeah.
I mean, for starters, could even start off like you made the chip, but you had no idea what it did. But by accident, you sent yourself back in time.
Mm. I think
So,
that's kind of how it goes because I didn't tell anyone about what I was doing.
mm-hmm,
So like as soon as I finished making the chip, I just put it on me and used it.
mm-hmm. I think you probably end up like a bit of a montage of different time periods that you traveled to, and right back to where you started. Just like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shock moment where, holy smokes, I have this ability with this
Mm,
chip. No way. I could definitely get some mileage out of this one.
yeah.
But you also got to probably highlight some sort of scorch marks too, if it does kind of leave something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I do have this written down already that my the the time shifting cybernetic, it has a 12 earth hour cooldown. So
Hmm.
wherever I go, whenever I go, I have to wait 12 hours before I can use it again.
Right. And it makes you very tired, or what's the setback?
Overheats me. Overheats
Oh.
all of my uh I guess yeah, I guess it would overheat every cybernetic I have and just make my body real hot.
Hmm.
Not
So
in the good way.
yes. We gotta clarify there, just in case anybody else is listening in. I mean, we don't want any kind of interesting cybernetic junkies who might prefer that to tune on in, unless if they're into that kind of thing. But all in all, I guess that does have like a really nice sort of balance to it, where you can't exactly just jump frequently from point A to point B.
Mm,
So you have the balancing down. You have like time traveling rules. Time travel can be a bit of a hectic thing to really piece together, unless if you really put some thought into it. But if it's simple
yeah.
as I can go back in time, I could do this, I could go forward in time, I could do that. But if I do anything to those particular time periods, it may cause a bit of trouble here and there. But at the same time, it's
Mm,
just, it'll fix itself one way or another. Which is
yeah.
ironic considering that the first guest that I had is a future god.
A what god?
A future god.
Ah,
So
interesting.
basically, he governs anything that happens within the realm of the future. So he's making sure that not only like things are protected and also things do not escape from the future and cause trouble in any other time period.
Mm, yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
How we had like I don't know similar concepts.
Hmm. And that's the beauty of it. I mean, if anything, you probably have like a crossover event with him and see how that kind of works out.
Mm.
See, we're already thinking large scale, but we might have to like narrow it down. We don't want to go full on MCU from jump at this point.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We have Iron Man so far. We need Captain America first before we can get Avengers.
Yeah, and then we have to have the Thor, then Hulk, then
Yep.
and then we just snowball from there.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, since it is the right time, we might have a civil war.
Oh, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, I guess that's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's actually get to the brass tacks.
Mm.
So, I have the principles of lore building here right in front of us. So, this is basically broken down into 4 cores. Design, which is based on your design. Scope, potential, and affinity. Each with these kind of building block questions in order to kind of get the ball rolling and see where we can go from there.
Mm.
Okay, so design. How does it contribute to your character or setting?
How does it contribute to your character or setting? So design is like literally me, right?
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Um, I would say this kind of outfit, like you can see on my neck, or the not exactly my neck, but the
collar.
The collar, yeah, that's it. I have like these cybernetic lines there. That kind of tech, I guess tech wear. Is it tech wear?
Yeah, it's tech wear.
It's kind of tech wear. Tech wear is big in my timeline. And I guess a lot of people have like the facial cybernetics, like on my eye. You can't see them on my hands, but that so unlike a lot of cyborgs where they have like, I don't know, you've probably seen like cyborg lines, right? Like the little black lines. Yeah. They don't have those in my timeline. It's all very cleanly embedded, so it just looks like regular skin.
Oh.
Yeah. But I do have the cybernetics in my hands, and a lot of people have those, although I feel like so a lot of people might have the lighter cybernetic that I have, but I modified mine specifically to make it either a lighter or a flamethrower.
Hmm. Is there like any particular reason why it's a lighter flamethrower in general? Is it just like power tricks, or is there something a bit more utilitarian to that?
Yeah, I guess you could say I perhaps wanted some sort of weapon that was extremely concealed, but you could also just simplify it by saying I like fire.
Mm. So, part and parcel of pyromaniac.
Mm.
Hmm. I'm pretty sure you can get a lot of money out of buying people's cigarettes or something. Either that, or you could probably just probably narrow it down so it could become more of like a plasma torch and just cut through certain things.
Yeah.
Okay, so where does your design lean towards? A culture, a point in time, a particular universe or setting?
Probably the point in time for sure, because it's, futuristic. Particular universe or setting, I guess kind of, because it is the future, but it's the same universe. It's just in the future.
Okay.
By a lot.
So, if anything, if we're going by a calendar sense, it's still like Anno Domini.
It's still what?
It's still AD, like
the
current calendar that we have.
I had no idea that's what AD stood for.
Yeah, now you know.
So yes, it is still that.
Okay, so I guess if we can kind of have a good idea, cybernetics definitely does take off in a very high sense in a time period maybe 70 or 80 years ahead of us. So maybe around that time period.
Oh, I was thinking much farther.
Like
I was thinking like at least the year 3000.
3,000. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so now I can actually have like some solid time frame.
Mm.
From 3,000 to 2,000. It's quite a large leap, especially considering that you mentioned that full body prosthetics where cyborgs barely have any kind of like seam lines on their faces, and it's kind of like a good mesh of like Ghost in a Shell to some extent.
Mm.
I could definitely see something that could be used out of that. So that also begs the question: is it more like energy weaponry that has been involved, or is it still like kinetic weaponry? Is
Uh, Definitely more energy weaponry. I don't
mm-hmm.
think, yeah, because aside from the flamethrower, there's not really much weaponry I have.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would definitely be more energy weaponry.
Right. So does that also mean there's probably contact with alien life, or is it still more just still human beings being like
Oh,
the main?
there's for sure aliens.
Oh,
Absolutely aliens. We've
mm-hmm.
we've made contact with them. They've and we already had, like the war with the aliens. Humans were like, "Oh no, aliens scary." And then all that has already happened. Everyone is chill now. They Humans and aliens, they both live in peace now.
Right. Okay. Wait. Now there's something that clicks. So before humanity was ever met in contact with aliens, was there a point where humans were still like flesh and blood?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. When did that happen?
That's a good question.
Yep. That's something to kind of make
Because
note of. Because for
I
everybody
could say like 2050, and then if I um hmm see, now is the part where I start making things up.
mm-hmm. Now, now
Um,
this will also be the point where you write things down too.
True.
So take
I
your
would
time.
say, yeah. So I would say, so humans definitely were like full flesh and blood at one point,
Mm-hmm.
and then hmm, probably around the year 2100 is when
Mm-hmm.
like they started. So this is like, yeah, it's not obviously it's not the same universe as Cyberpunk 2077,
Yeah.
but it's yeah. So it's taken concepts from that for sure.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so around 2100 is when humans started augmenting themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say probably around. It took a while to get the like the seams down to make them less visible. So that would probably be around like 2900.
Right. Okay, so the marvel of cyborg technology happened in 2100, around that point.
Yes.
Then we have those moments where people try to like it was I'm pretty sure it was just pretty much heavily corporal that it started off as.
Corpo and like, the underground market.
Mm-hmm. And that probably led to like a bit of a war between the two parties, and that also led to some conflicts of morality and whether like humans are allowed to augment themselves so freely with whatever kind of
Yeah.
means, especially with
Yeah.
military intervention.
I would say I wouldn't say there was like I mean there might have been like a full on war in some parts of the universe, but at least where I was from there wasn't a full-on war. It was more just yeah, like you said, a conflict, like of like, should humans be allowed to have this kind of stuff?
Yeah, sort of like an uprising, maybe with like a faction of people, maybe a faction of purists that want to
Yeah,
keep humans as human as possible.
yeah. God, I hate those people, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking with something good. And then somewhere down the line, we've gotten a bit more advanced with technology. We found much safer means in order to augment people with different kinds of cybernetics and prosthetics, to the point where it's even going further into like more medical aspects and just giving people a new lease on life, especially post-war and post-conflict.
Yes.
And that's where we started seeing like a period of harmony, somewhere around that 2900 point. And then contact begins. We have first contact with alien life. And at first it started off pretty normal, just the usual fearful situations, and then something happened.
Something happened. Yeah. Probably just like, one of the aliens learned our language, was able to communicate. They probably found someone who is not, against the aliens, and they were probably a very high-ranking corpo of some sorts. And then they somehow managed to convince the rest of the corpo to, be like, "Hey, aliens are chill, right?" And then eventually that spread across the world.
Interesting. Now I can definitely see there might have been a point in time where it was just a bit of tension, but after that point, maybe things started to chill, and then all of a sudden, someone who was a little bit too fearful, or someone who wanted to take advantage of that alien, probably did something that caused a full-scale war to break out between the two.
Oh yeah, there was a war definitely with them.
So the start, we have three major things to kind of make note of: the start of the war, the middle point, and the end of it. How we kind of frame those how we can frame those time periods then to where we are now.
Probably the beginning, or I guess like the end of it. No, the middle. I'm going all over the place here now.
Okay, take it
The
time.
middle of that war is probably around 2900, when we got like really good at augmenting people without making it visible, right? Once we got to that point, everyone like realized that, because they probably incorporated alien tech to do that. So, oh man, now I'm getting an existential crisis. Am I part alien now? Oh no.
Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're really getting somewhere. See? We gotta keep cooking. We gotta keep cooking.
Let us cook. Let us cook.
Let us cook. So, alien technology has definitely been the bridging point between humans and other life. Beyond that, were the aliens that you met humanoid type, or were they something a bit more out there?
There was definitely a mix. Like, if you've played Mass Effect, it's similar to how they have alien races that are, some are humanoid, some are just, I don't know what the hell an Elcor is. But yeah, I would say the ones that we had the war with, those were definitely more of the humanoid ones.
Hmm. Hmm. That's interesting. And what would you say would be the final year, if you could give like a solid number date? What would be the solid year where the war ended?
2937.
2937. How did it end?
Peacefully.
Through
Um,
through ceasefire, through surrender? How?
okay. Yeah, I guess it would be a ceasefire for mutual benefit. Yeah, that's the word.
Mm-hmm.
Ceasefire for mutual benefit, because humans and aliens, they both understood that they can benefit from each other.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, this gives me a lot more this gives us both a foundation of how we have time travel technology and how you managed to get your hands on that kind of thing
True.
to build up to it. So, essentially, you are part alien with the cybernetics that you have.
So I have just now realized, yes.
Yes. And because of that alien technology, you have the means in order to travel at any point in time. But your body cannot
Yes.
exactly handle it, hence why you overheat so much from it.
Right.
Okay. See where we're going with this?
I do. Yes.
You have it written down?
Mostly.
Okay.
I'm like just jotting down the big points for now, and then
Mm-hmm.
like after this is over, I'm gonna watch this VOD and write more about it.
Yep. That's the plan. All right. So, I guess we can probably skip the other questions since we've pretty much gone through that. So we can go on to the next core. Scope. How do you want to be perceived in the world around you?
How do I want to be perceived in the world around me? Um, Ideally, I wouldn't want to be perceived at all.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, no one perceives me, and I just, go about making my time traveling chip. But, as we've already discussed, that's not happening. Or, like someone is watching me. I think I would say, though, that whoever is watching me, they only found out about this after I had already jumped.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. So essentially, it's after the fact they started posing some questions as to how you did it.
Yeah. Because until then, I was just in my room doing this with no outside contact at all.
Mm-hmm.
But then, once I jumped, someone eventually would have come looking for me, noticed I'm gone, and then saw whatever was in my room left over. Probably
Mm-hmm.
had blueprints or whatever.
And that could probably lead to a possible antagonist.
Right.
Or, yeah, mostly an antagonist. Question is, or maybe antagonists, considering who could it possibly be? Could it be a corporal? Could it be a net runner? Could it be someone completely divorced from the two and just happen to be very curious about the whole situation? It could be
Yeah.
anything.
I'd like to think it was so going back to the netrunner working for the corpo, um and then like someone working alongside them hears about this
Mm-hmm.
So they like, they start off as just like the background villain. Not even a villain, just a background character, but they're just on like the corpo side. And then they hear about this, and then they end up, getting so invested in it that they get a similar chip and they become the antagonist.
Uh-huh. I see, I see. So that gives a lot more precedence to like how potent this technology really is and what kind of rat race will come from it.
Mm.
And I'm pretty sure they're gonna try and chase you down as much as they can to see if they can get some answers out of you one way or another.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. I think it might be also a bit redundant too, but what is your place in the world? What is your purpose?
Not much. Yeah, I guess so. This is kind of redundant, but like, yeah, not much. I didn't really do much um, before chipping myself. Uh, Kind of just lived my life. No one important really knew me. I did have a family. I didn't have like parental issues of any sort.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point in my life, I was living on my own.
Hmm. I feel like we can probably enhance that to some degree. But where will be a good start? Because it seems like a mild mannered, pretty much had no qualms with the world around or no qualms with anybody else. Just
Well, no qualms, yes, but also incredibly bored.
hmm. I'm just trying to like think. There has to be like some sort of launch pad point or something to give a bit of context as to like what motivated you to even create such a chip like that in the first place.
Mm,
Because boredom can be a pretty broad thing. It could be a lot of different factors all swirled into like one focal point. But it's
true,
just a
true.
matter of what would be the thing that really broke the camel's back there that
I see. Yeah.
made you say, you know what? I'm not having fun with this place. I want to see what else that I can actually do in order to have my fun, and I'll just commit to it.
Mm. Uh, that's a good question. So what broke the camel's back? Um, well, I guess you could say it was boredom for sure, but
Mm-hmm.
also interest. Like I and this is true of like not just the character that I've created, but also me IRL. I'm incredibly interested in like space and just like alien stuff. I, I already believe that aliens exist, so
Mm-hmm.
so just the curiosity for like seeing what's out there, I guess.
Right. Hmm. Okay, so how can I get how can I package this a bit better?
Mm,
So the world that you live in doesn't have much fun stuff outside the usual hedonistic things that other people would probably partake in,
right, of course.
right?
That's always there.
That's always going to be there. That's pretty much a given. You just want to focus on living your life. But someone gives a bit of a, I don't know, maybe like a little hint or a clue or some sort of like morsel of information
Mm.
or someone that kind of like teases you to try it out.
It was definitely like Not, I wouldn't say a flyer because it's the year 3000. Five flyers don't exist. Um, I guess it could be like, what's the digital equivalent of a flyer?
Maybe a holotag or something.
A holotag, yeah, perfect. I came across a holotag at some point, and it didn't specify like, hey, you can time travel if you do this, but just like the idea of hopping, not hopping. That's too
Jumping.
specific. Yeah, not even that. That's too specific. Just like being able to explore. That was like written on this holotag, and that's like what got me even curious enough to do this. I guess. Yeah.
Wait. Now something just clicked in my head at this point. Maybe it might not be a holotag, but maybe it might be a sort of like an authority figure, someone in the sciences that's been on like a talk show that talks about like the possible theories of dimensional travel thanks to alien technology.
Yeah. That could work too. Yeah.
That could definitely work. Like the scientists are probably talking about, we have these possible ideas of how to do that, but we have not found the technological means to accomplish it. We have found different ways in order to interface with the past and perceived present of the times that we are aware of, but we just never really found out the proper means to do just that.
Yeah.
Therefore, if we can find some way to, oh god,
Is it hitting?
It's hitting real well. The scientists may be part of like some sort of research group which has connections to a certain corpo. And
I see where you're going.
Yep. And the parts that you probably managed to get was from a particular accident that happened in transit. It just conveniently fell to your feet, and you didn't even know where it came from. It's just landed right there.
I like it a lot.
So you decide to pick it up, take it back home with you, make sure no one's looking around. You have like on your computer just normal stuff, just something that no one would really be suspicious of. But
yeah, the homework folder.
Yeah, the homework folder. And then once you open that folder, boom. Turns out that you already know what this technology is. You have researched it thanks to your eye, and you've managed to sneakily access a back door to whatever that scientist's file was after tracing back the information on the chip. And now you gave yourself an opportunity to test out the theory that he wanted to pretty much test for himself.
Yeah. And I can see this tying back to the scientist, like when word gets out that someone jumped, eventually that scientist is going to learn about this, and then I'm assuming they're going to be happy that it whatever they thought of worked.
Yeah, but they're also going to be mad that they were not the ones to do it.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is good.
We are
real good.
What comes after cooking? Are we baking? Are we broiling?
We are serving.
We're serving. Yes.
We are serving so much. Oh man. Oh boy. I should not have this power in order to give other people these kind of things, but for free.
For free?
But I'm doing it anyway because I love it. I'm doing it
anyway
because
great.
I freaking love it. Like, you see how the pieces are kind of falling into place, right? See how it kind of flows into each other. We already have like our setting, we already have our background, we already have like the possible antagonist and the conflict that can probably be tied back to you. So while you are here enjoying the land of being company of VTubers and other possible entertainers and whatnot, you also have a particular target on your back by someone that wants to get that credit for themselves.
Yeah.
So now you're going to be dragged into something that you never even knew was possible until someone came to your doorstep. Which definitely leads into like the next set of questions I have.
Okay, yeah.
So, how would your decisions influence your world or universe?
Well, I think we just talked about that, didn't we?
We did.
I guess people found out about the chip, and then news travels back to the scientist, and then the scientist gets happy/upset.
Yep. So would you be considered like public enemy number one, or would you be more of a nuisance? How would that kind of be framed?
Oh, it's definitely the kind of threat that corpos don't want getting out. Like, if they ever catch me, they're taking me in, and it's over. It's no one finds out about it.
Yeah. Which also bleeds into the whole situation of how much of a threat do you pose to your own world? Since you could actually time travel, there's probably some other things you could do.
Right. I guess like on a threat scale itself, probably a very high threat. That being said, I have no intention of causing any harm, so
it'd all be in self-defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. This is wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful. All right, on to the next core. What are you capable of, and what are your limits?
Well, we kind of talked about this also, but like, so I have what am I capable of? I guess I'll start with my eye, because that's like kind of the basic cybernetic that I have. It just offers me, enhanced vision. I have a heads-up display on at all times. I can scan anyone and anything around me, that kind of stuff. I can also I can actually show you this right now, even.
Or
the stream will see it, I guess. I have an overclock for my eye cybernetic.
An overclock?
I do have an overclock, and it allows me to do this. Hold on, Twitch is catching up. Wait, I can. Okay, yeah, it's running. Is it? Oh, the stream doesn't see it. No.
Let me see.
Wait, no, the stream isn't seeing it, but I have a. So when I overclock the cybernetics on my eyes, they turn RGB.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know why. I can see it on my end, but I can't see it on your stream for whatever reason. Maybe it's the collab thing, but
maybe it might be the collab thing with VTS. Maybe if it was like on OBS Ninja, we'll probably be able to see it. But I guess some of them might showcase maybe on your stream at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
But we can keep going with the capabilities.
Yeah. So that's my eye, and then there's also the lighter/flamethrower on my hand. And that can be controlled to any amount that I want it to be. So it can be, as tiny as a lighter or as large as a flamethrower, that it has that amount of range on it. And then of course the time traveling cybernetic on my chest, which you don't see right now, but it's there, I swear. Apart from that, yeah, that's really it. There's a lot of like minor, like internal cybernetics that you don't see, and they just sort of like enhance my bodily functions,
Hmm.
just to make it easier on my physical body.
Right.
But yeah, that's about it. Nothing, not much else in terms of abilities.
Any particular limits though?
Um, well, the 12-hour cooldown for the time travel one.
Hmm.
Um, the eye doesn't really have any limits to it. I guess well, it does heat up when I overclock it. Um, but there's not really any major side effects to overclocking it besides the extra heat of it.
Hmm. Which I gotta
Um,
imagine could be probably excruciating.
no, not really actually.
Really?
It's just like a mild inconvenience, but it's not really like it's not a danger to me at all. Unlike
Mm.
the time travel one, which could like flatline me if I used it in
Right, right.
succession.
See. Okay, so since we've gone over abilities, what about skills and techniques at your disposal? Do you have anything like hand to hand combat or hacking capabilities? What do you have?
Hacking definitely. That's how I was able to get the whatever I needed out of the time travel cybernetic.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I would say definitely a little bit of hand to hand combat. I wouldn't say I'm great at it, but I do like I could defend myself if I needed to. Um, but actually, more than hand to hand combat, in terms of self defense, excluding the flamethrower that I have, excluding that military grade weapon that I have,
Hmm.
um, I am more I'm more proficient in sword fighting than in hand to hand combat.
Ah, nice. Hmm. So would you have like a short sword or maybe like a high frequency blade? What would you have?
Uh, it's yeah. So it wouldn't be. Yeah. It would be a short sword because I want it to be like as inconspicuous as possible. So it's like it's longer than a dagger, but shorter than a long sword.
Hmm.
um, and it's definitely some sort of like energy blade that like sort of like a lightsaber, I guess, where you just hold the hilt itself if you're not trying to like swing it around, and then you can activate it to produce an energy blade, and that can be swung around.
Hmm. Hmm. That's pretty cool. All right. Next question. At your current state, do you have any hidden powers?
Hidden powers. Um, like what? I'm not really sure.
Maybe like something that you may not be fully aware of, but if it ever does activate, it's like a huge burst of power, or maybe some sort of
Oh,
potential that you may have that, again, you're not aware of, but it contributes to like enhancing your performances and stuff like that.
mm. Yeah, I would say there's definitely like, for lack of a better term, there is a rage mode. Um, what is the trigger for that? I don't know.
Hmm.
I guess I mean going based off the term rage mode, I guess it would be anger, right? But
Yeah.
like it could be any emotion. It could be an intense amount of sadness that triggers it too.
Yeah. So essentially, a berserk mode, if anything.
Mm.
Berserk would
Where
definitely.
like so like everything goes into overdrive.
Yep.
Everything immediately overheats.
Yep. And in that heat, you can kind of like, if you ever hit somebody, you know they're not going to really get back up as easily.
Oh yeah.
Like if you even punch like maybe like an armored vehicle, you know you're gonna like put a huge dent to it, or even
Oh yeah,
through it if you could, especially with the amount of
for
heat.
sure. Yeah, especially with the heat. If I target the engine specifically, that engine's gone.
Hmm. Now, to think about where it happens is going to be another bit of homework to really think of. What would be that point where berserk mode triggers?
Hmm.
Would it be some agent from that particular time period that's chasing you that threatens somebody else that you were becoming friends with? Could it be that, or could there be some other possible motivation or trigger that kicks you into that particular state?
Hmm.
Stuff to think
Good
about.
question. Yeah. It would probably have something to do with like targeting someone or something that was very close to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely something to think about.
Hmm.
All right. All right. Next question. What are your weaknesses? Anything particularly physical, mental, conditional, etc.?
Water.
Water.
I don't mean drinking water, just like water aside from drinking is a weakness.
Mm-hmm. Anything to put the fire out, technically.
Yeah. Yeah, anything to put the fire out. Um aside from so that would be like a physical weakness, and then I guess like a mental weakness would just be anything that limits me.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that makes it so that I can't do what I want.
Hmm. So, what would be a good example of that?
Oh, you know what? Actually, I think this would also be a good way to trigger this berserk mode
Mm-hmm.
where if I'm being limited in what I can do, or if someone is saying, if someone is forcing me to not do something that I want to do, berserk mode could trigger.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it's like a much higher threshold compared to like all the other possible triggers,
Right, of course.
which could then lead to another level of berserk mode that's a bit more unstable.
Oh, I love this.
Yep. It's you played Milky Rising, right?
I've played a little bit of it. Yeah,
Oh, how far?
not very far.
Oh, I can't say it then. But
Okay.
if you get far enough into the game, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Come back to me when you do.
Okay.
That'll be your homework for after the stream. Play Milky
All
Rising
right.
up until that point.
Okay.
You'll know when you see the rainfall. That's all I can
Mm.
say. Okay. And the last question of the potential core would be, what is something holding you back? Do you have a limiter put in place?
What's something holding me back? So holding me back from what?
I mean, like doing whatever you want to do, or
Mm.
something that wants you to achieve your goals, so to speak.
Okay. Um, what is something holding me back? I'm inclined to say my friends and family in the universe, but at the same time, I'm also kind of indifferent. So I wouldn't say they're holding me back, or at least they're not the main reason for holding me back.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess a limiter. Well, I guess there is the limiter on my time travel thing, right? And that's kind of something that's holding me back because it's stopping me from just jumping infinitely.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, though, this is like I stopped in this time period because I was happy with what was going on right here. So
Mm-hmm.
I have no reason to use the time travel right now
Right, right.
until whatever corpo catches me here.
Yep.
corpo scientist or whatever.
Yep. So, how are you feeling so far with this?
I'm feeling great. I'm loving what's happening.
Mm-hmm. And do you think you have like a good foundation of making a story of your own so far, or do you feel like there's a bit more time in the shop needed?
I think this is the perfect amount where I can like flesh this out from here. I
Mm-hmm.
can like, yeah, yeah. I have a good idea of things now.
All right, all right, all right. So we'll just go with the final core, and then we'll just wrap things up from there.
Right.
All right. Now, affinity. What kind of person or entity are you? What do you end up gravitating? What do you end up gravitating around you?
Mm, is this asking like, is this like D&D alignment?
Yeah, so to speak. Yeah, because we kind of go into that a bit more in the follow-up questions.
Okay. Um, I guess if we're going based off like D&D alignments, it would be more of like a chaotic good alignment where like
Mm-hmm.
I want the freedom to do whatever I want, but at the same time, I'm not going to cause harm to anyone.
Right.
So yeah, that would be it. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you end up gravitating around? Do you mostly attract like good people, questionable people, bad people, or a mixed bag of characters, so to speak?
Mm. Yeah, I would say definitely like 90% good people. 90% of the people who I interact with, they're, good people. They also don't want to really cause harm. But there is, of course, the um, occasional one or two not so great people, unsavory people that I may or may not come across. And while I don't like interact with them as much, I do sort of, I guess what's the saying? Keep your enemies close, that kind of thing. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah, keep your friends
just,
close, enemies closer.
yeah. I just like, keep them close because they could be useful to me in the future. Or I just want to see what they're up to.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I guess since we have the alignment stuff done, we can go to the next question. Any mortal enemies or rivals, or even a possible nemesis?
Well, not yet, but I'm sure that scientist and the unnamed individual working at the corpo, they probably hate me.
Mm-hmm. They probably want you dead or probably turn into a science experiment.
Yep.
And they could probably hire a very dangerous fatale too.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe a cyber assassin or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like the same kind of cyber assassin that'll probably have the same kind of reference or notoriety as like Adam Smasher.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that sure would be a dude.
Yep. What about allies? Anyone you can kind of call upon or confide in?
Yeah, I mean there's a couple of people like that, but I cannot call upon them from now in the time period I am currently in.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have a few people like that in in the year I came from.
And what about in the current?
In the current time period, I guess that's what I'm working on. I'm working on trying to build up those connections, seeing who can I trust inherently, who can I call upon if I ever need help.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. And final question. do you have a code or prefer doing things on a whim?
Oh, absolutely on a whim.
Mm-hmm. So
That goes back to the chaotic part of chaotic good, right? I
yeah,
just want to do whatever I want.
right. So anywhere where the wind blows, that's where you go.
Yep.
And wherever the wind takes you, that's also where you go as well.
Mm.
Okay. I see we got ourselves a good foundation to work with, and see what we got served up on a nice silver platter. So, how would you kind of describe this story first and foremost to probably someone who's very curious on what you have in mind?
How would I describe the story? Um. Hmm. Well, it would have something to do with. I guess you'd have to have my origin in there, like the origin of how I found out about this time traveling chip.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the scientist, the unnamed scientist. Um, that would all have to be in there, and then let's see what else. I guess then like once the origin is over, you would go into like the powers that I have. I guess you would even before like during the origin, you would also go into like the powers that I currently have, like the eyes and the hands.
Yeah.
Um, but then you'd go deeper into them when I find out about the time travel stuff. Um, once I jump to like you said earlier, you'd have like the montage of me going through time periods and then finding this one and staying in here a while. But after that, I think you would jump back to the future. Not me, but like you would just the viewer would jump back to the future and they would see what my enemies are like plotting, right?
Yeah. Hmm. And in a way, you can kind of like have those scenes or chapters dedicated to just what kind of motions happening while you are away.
Mm.
What's going on between the corpos or the netrunners or the scientist faction. The whole you could pretty much play around with a lot of those different elements to build up that kind of something's brewing in the moment kind of
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Hmm. All right. Now, I guess since we also have like the this also in mind, what would be the war between the humans and the aliens called, as well as the civil war between cyborgs and humans? Would you have any names for them, or would there kind of be like a bit of hazy detail?
Mm. Probably the first one, the one with the cyborgs and the humans.
Mm-hmm.
I I'm kind of leaning towards something like if you've played the Deus Ex games, something like that where it's not really like a full on war. It's more just like
A
the
conflict.
yeah, the conflicts of the humans who are just kind of being like, "Oh, you cyborgs shouldn't be alive," all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So there wouldn't really be a name for that. It would kind of just be like a period in time where cyborgs and humans were not, or cyborgs specifically, were not thought too kindly of by the humans.
Right. Sort of like an augmented uprising.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the augmented uprising.
The augmented uprising. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the contact war, which is right after that, after a certain period of time.
Oh, see, that's already perfect. You just call it the contact war.
Yeah. All right. So we have basically our chapter 0. the Augmented Uprising, and the Contact War, and then we just jump to chapter 1, which is pretty much present day, present time in your perspective.
Yes.
All right, sound good?
Sound very good.
All right. So, does anybody in the chat have any kind of questions for 812? Wait, that's another thing too. How did the name 812 come about?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, it just skipped my mind until now.
Yeah. How did the 812 come into question? It was probably the chip, the time traveling chip.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably model A12, and then that just became me.
Right. Yeah, subject 812.
Yeah.
Subject 812 was on the loose during transit. No one knows where it has disappeared to, and we're coming through the entire city in order to find it. If anyone has any contact with subject 812, do not use it with any kind of technology whatsoever. Doing so will possibly lead to very catastrophic results that we cannot save you from. Something like that.
Did you just make that all up right now?
I did make that up all in my head.
That's insane.
Yeah. I'm good with these kind of things. I'm good at improvisation. That's
okay. Yeah. And then I already know where the flames would come from. That's that's like, I guess, my mark.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, whatever time period I travel to, it's just a trail of fire left in my wake.
Mm-hmm. Like every time you warp into a new time period, it's just like a ring of fire around you. Okay, as a fellow time traveler, I'm interested about this. Is there a sort of agency or group who's policing time travel of sorts? No, right?
Yeah. There's no one policing time travel, but there is the corpo who like invented this, and they want to get it back from me.
Mm-hmm.
Not getting it back though.
Yep. No take backsies.
No take backsies. Finders keepers.
Losers weepers.
Yeah. Go cry to mommy. Stinky corpo.
You got all that money and you're still sad. You chose all the flavors and you still chose salty. Oh boy. Oh, this is so much fun.
Yeah,
this is really so much fun. Ever tried to change the past, specifically influence any conflicts during the Alien Wars or the Contact War?
Oh no, I don't do that stuff. Whatever happened already. I'm just here to vibe.
Mm-hmm. And then someone comes along and it's like, vibe check.
Yeah, vibe check, right?
It's just...
Plus, if I did try to like change the outcome of, there's like the whole butterfly effect thing, right? If I tampered with the conflicts during the Aliens War, for example, I might not have had as powerful cybernetics.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Or if anything, humanity would have been probably scorched depending on the outcome too.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Mm.
Could I win an arm wrestling match against me? I doubt it.
No, absolutely not. I would lose.
I mean,
100%.
You have like nanofiber musculature at your disposal, so you might have a chance.
But that's just for protection. That doesn't offer me super strength.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe just bullshit, and then you could probably win over me with like some nice little gimmick, huh?
Or that, yeah.
You ain't slick.
You ever play what is it, Thumb War?
Yes.
And then did you ever do the snake in the hole trick?
Yes, yeah. I always hate people when they do that kind of thing, but I always try to like be slick with it too. Just have my thumb just laying on the ground, so to speak. So it's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much that.
Mm.
There's also an alternative universe, or no, there's also an alternative that maybe it was a predetermined outcome that you perform such action. Oh God. Like,
Oh man.
that sounds like something straight out of Minority Report.
Yeah, now we're talking about like do you believe in the concept of fate and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's all precognition. Everything that happens before it actually does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, paradox, but yeah, essentially
paradox. Yeah.
You can't create the future. You can't change the future. You must create the future. Time paradox.
If you could change your fate, would ye?
Oh, realistically, no. But any final questions for our guest, Deetz? Any final questions as far as like what we've covered so far, as well as like maybe just some questions about his character, so to speak? If not, maybe in the next minute or so, we'll just wrap things up. Pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
Mm-hmm.
Both are good, but pasta.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
Yeah.
Because there's so much potential you could add to pasta or pizza.
Right? Yeah.
But there's not that many sins you can commit with pasta either.
True.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever had your cybernetics shut down or suspended?
Not from anyone besides myself. It was just, me overusing them. That's the only reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we got a very interesting one from Iris. Do you put mayonnaise on your hot dogs?
No, I put ketchup like a sane person. All you mustard havers come at me.
Or relish.
Or relish, yeah.
The reason why this question comes up is because there was a particular viewer of my channel that kind of badges me for, in the past, having put mayo on hot dogs. And
so you're the insane person, I see.
Yes, and I've accepted that. I've accepted that. But I haven't had it because it's just a very caloric kind of food combination. You can't have too much of it.
I see. Yeah.
But it's still good.
It's a normal thing.
Only in Latin America, only in Latin countries. And maybe like Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and a few other places too. But that's beside the point. Point is, make will have a fan.
Oh no, did I just piss off all of Mexico?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it too much. Okay, the next big real one. Do you accept pineapple on pizza?
Oh boy. Here's where people really. This is the big divider.
It's not much of a big divide, in my opinion.
Well, okay. Yes.
We got it. We got it. Pineapple on pizza is acceptable. Choose wisely. It's too late.
It's too late.
The future has
I already accepted.
The future has been decided.
Yeah. This is the real reason why cyborgs are hated.
All right, now here's a much more controversial one. Cherry on pizza.
Cherry?
Cherry.
Like the fruit. Cherry.
The fruit cherry. I don't know what the cherry could possibly would be.
So I've never had that, so I don't know if I can answer the question.
But does the concept kind of ring any red flags to you?
I'll be honest. On the very first second when I saw that, I was like, "Why would you do that?" But then the very next second, I was like, "You know what? Pineapple's a fruit. Cherry's a fruit. Do it." Oh no! Oh no! Did I shut him down? Oh no! He's gone. Come back.
You'll be subject for termination soon enough.
Oh.
What in the world did you come into? You just missed the tail end of our story building session, Krim. But now we're just answering questions for the most part.
Answering the big fight questions.
Yep. Which is primarily food related.
Yeah.
Do you put mayo on your sandwiches? I'm talking about choice.
Yes.
ask Iris about that. I'm pretty sure she would love to have a nice conversation with you on that one.
What's wrong with mayo on sandwiches?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with it one bit.
Okay.
I mean, let's be real here. Pineapple is not the biggest offender. Especially when you have Hawaiian pizza. It's good. Hold that.
Okay, so I may or may not get more hate for this, but I don't like ham.
That's fine.
Ham is my least favorite form of pork.
Mm-hmm. Apparently some sort of food war criminals. Yeah. There's also the other thing that we talked about before, Iris. That definitely puts you on the war criminal status for sure. But I'm not going to get
status.
I'm not going to get into that one. If you're gonna have a pitchfork, Ragnar, at least you can do is have him light with a torch as well.
True.
He could do that for you for a reasonable price.
Oh, I'll do it for free.
For free.
For free.
For free. How's gaming in the year 3000? Has Half-Life... Oh, God. Why? Why do you hurt me?
Half-Life 3 has not come out yet. I'm sorry. Portal 3 has also not come out yet. I'm sorry.
And Team Fortress?
What?
What about Team Fortress? Has there not been a
What's
third
Team
game?
Fortress?
Oh, then again, Titanfall is the other better TF anyway, so. Titanfall 2. Which I really need to reinstall this. I really need to reinstall Titanfall 2 and also kind of uninstall Apex because I haven't been playing that game in such a long time. It just feels like I'm chasing after shadows at that point.
Yeah. I've been way more into Halo Infinite these days.
Like, has it gotten any better or is it still...
Well, okay, here's the thing. I never had a problem with it to begin with, aside from like the technical faults. But, you know, until recently, I never spent money on it. I've only ever spent like, I think $15, and it was just to buy one skin or like one set of skins.
Right.
But yeah, so I've had no problems with it. I just enjoy it for what it is. It's a free game. How much are you going to complain about it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so I guess we'll kind of wrap up this stream from here. So let's just flip the background. And we're going to take a nice photo together.
Wait, hold on. Oh, wait, no, I shouldn't do this because this is... I change my so when I change emotions, specifically happy, sad, and angry,
Mm-hmm.
The colors for my eye cybernetic they change. So for happy, it's purple. Uh,
Uh,
sad is blue, and then angry is red.
mm-hmm.
But those are not my original colors, so I'm just gonna. Oh god! Oh god!
Oh, he's soon today. It's not gonna like you or anything, Baka.
Baka. Yeah, but those are not my original colors, so I'll just be like this, and I'll just.
All right. Did I get it? Yep, we got it. All right. Well, thank you for coming on in for another episode of Fake Calculation.
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it definitely was. Definitely was.
Yeah.
And if you know anybody else that might be interested in participating in these Fake Calculation episodes, please do let me know, and I'll gladly guide them to their next fate forward. Any final words or anything you might be up to for the future? No pun intended.
That's a good one.
It's more than enough.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be playing the Phantom Liberty DLC for Cyberpunk. Monday. I think it officially comes out on Tuesday, but because of time zones, it comes out on Monday for me. So I'm gonna be playing that Monday night. And aside from that, not much. I like tea. I like tea a lot.
A fellow tea drinker.
Yeah.
The cheerio.
Yeah. I'm more in Japanese and Indian tea actually than the British one.
Ah, so I guess you also have like a one of those authentic teacups for green tea.
Yeah, I do actually.
I
got one of those when I went to Japan.
Oh, nice! Holy shit! I gotta see that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's like very nice to hold on to too.
It is, yeah. It feels like ceramic-y. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, that's one way of describing it.
Yeah.
It's a very smooth feel to it.
It's actually a little rough, but not very rough. So yeah.
So Japanese tea and chai. This is always going to be a conscious effort to never say chai tea because people have poisoned that particular wording so much.
Yeah, because I think chai means tea or something.
Yeah,
right?
chai means tea.
Yeah.
Like, I had a friend of mine just correct me on that. Once I started like getting the idea. The teacups are made to be held. Chai, yeah, it is really good. I haven't had a chai latte before, but I definitely want to try that at some point. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to go to like some sort of bougie, upscale cafe in order to even try it. Because nowhere in my right mind would I ever go to like Starbucks for that.
Could you imagine?
I don't want to
go to Starbucks.
I don't want to imagine that future, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be a possibility somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, as a dimensional traveler and protector, I'm pretty sure there's an alternate reality of me actually just frequently going to Starbucks with a very trendy metrosexual look. And I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be as swole as well either.
There's also, while we're on the topic of alternate futures, there's an alternate future where I am not a cyborg. I'm not a human cyborg. Or a human at all.
You're just full synthetic?
No, it's a dragon.
A dragon?
A dragon. A fire dragon.
Oh. You know, I was kind of bracing myself for like a Deetz nuts joke, man.
No.
I was.
As much as I would like to do that, my name itself is already a Deetz nuts joke.
Yeah, that's already too much of a headache there. I'm sorry, Denzel, but that's what just came to mind. And to kind of get your question, Ragnar, the odds of getting to this, I mean, it depends. You just have to have, like, for fate calculation, you just have to have an idea of what your story would be. So even if you have, like, a VTuber concept, then we could probably work something out. But it does help to have, like, a small foundation or a small work, something to kind of springboard off of in order to, like, get something done. But yeah, I guess concepts or something that's already established does help. All right, so I guess we'll end it from here. Thank you again, Deetz.
No, thank you.
No problem, no problem. And do you have anybody you can recommend to raid by any chance? I'll give you this opportunity. You can type it in the chat if you can. So it's easy for me.
Let me see who I have, who is perhaps mayhaps live. Ooh, yeah. There's a fellow cyborg who's currently playing Starfield.
Ah, nice.
Great game, by the way. I just wish it ran at higher than 40 FPS for me.
I guess we have to, since it's a Bethesda game, we have to summon the power of the mods in order to do just that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here, let me.
Because it just works.
There, it's in the chat.
Nox Umbertos. All right. So for tomorrow, we have also, who's in the chat, we have our in-character universe episode with Jidori. Also at the same time at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And this is pretty much a continuation from Operation Dimension Dive from episode 1A, the pre-interview. Jidori, we're going to have to work on something with the post-interview stuff, so we'll probably just work that after we're done with the episode, okay? But until then, thanks everybody for stopping on by, working and all that good stuff. If you missed this stream, feel free to watch the VOD. I'll also upload it on YouTube as well. And do you have like a special farewell, Deetz? Or just kind of run with it?
I just say bye.
All right. All together now. 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we'll meet Umbertos with our...
Oh, he goes by Nox.
Nox. Mm. All right. Take care, everybody. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Oh man, that was so much fun.
That was incredibly fun.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for doing this.
No problem. No problem. Anything you probably want to like suggest or any improvements you have in mind?
Not really. It was like exactly because I didn't have any expectations going into it, so literally anything that happened was a plus for me.
I see. Okay. Well, anything else you plan on doing for the night, or just gonna be chilling after that?
Probably gonna be playing Cyberpunk a bit more, because I'm trying to catch up to the mission right before the DLC starts. before I stream it.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna be chilling in Knox for a bit, so probably see you there too.
Yep.
All right, take it easy, man.
All right. See ya.